Hello my crafty peeps, it's Cheyenne from PixieCrafter.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can shop my online store 24/7. The link is in the description bar below, or you can head on over to PixieCrafter.com and see what there is to see over there. Alright, we've got a fun card today. It's going to be a birthday card. I've been wanting to do some watercoloring and heat embossing, so we're combining the two to get a fun card. Alright, I'm going to be using the Cool Treats set today, so I'm just going to be using Happiest Birthday. This is a wonderful set. I'm so glad that it carried over. You don't have to get the coordinating dies if you don't want to. You can do a lot of different layering options just with the stamp set to have a lot of fun that way, or you can go ahead and get the coordinating dies and cut the stamped images out. Now I will say that the dies, they're meant to cut within the stamped image, so you're not going to get that empty border around the edge, which is kind of nice. It's edge to edge color and everything, so that's a fun little thing. You can also just get the dies and put together a lot of fun different ice creams with this too, so it's nice to be able to have sets that can be independent of each other, or you put them together and you can have a whole lot of magic happening. Some of the dies actually have like little embossed sections, so like on this waffle cone here, it will actually emboss that waffle, so that's lots of fun there. Now we are going to be using the top of the ice cream, like the little ice cream scoop, and this little cone, and this will actually emboss a little waffle along the bottom of it. I'm starting to get hungry now, so we'll need those two, and of course we'll need our big shot because of that, and I'm just using the standard setup that comes with the big shot. No fancy plates or anything like that, though I do feel if you're going to have the big shot, it's a good idea to get all of the coordinating tools and platforms and stuff, because it can really help elevate your craft. Alright, stamp colors. Well, more like watercoloring colors. I've got Lemon Lime Twist and Tempting Turquoise. It's still cold here in Vermont. I don't know why. We're into June. Let's get some heat going on. So I'm like in the mood for summer colors. So I just think that those are going to be perfect for this. I want something bright and fun. Alright, I've got a piece of chocolate chip. No, this isn't chocolate chip. I believe this is soft suede cardstock. Any of your neutrals, crumb cake, Sahara sand, your lighter neutrals, they'll work. You don't necessarily have to have this color, but that's what I had in scrap. All right, I need a little scrap of Whisper White, and it just needs to be big enough for our little ice cream scoop. We're going to be doing something fun with this, so stay tuned for that. Card base, I've got a sheet of Whisper White thick, cut at 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4. So it's 5 1/2. Wait, hold on. I can't think of my measurements now. Yeah. Who else here is suffering from allergies? All right, so it's 4 1/4. No, let me get the whole thing. Yeah, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Yeah. I'm in a bit of an allergy fog today. It's super fun. And then I've got a piece of Lemon Lime Twist. This is cut at 3 1/2 by 4. Now, a single sheet of 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock, you will be able to get 6 of these 3 1/2 by 4 pieces. So that's a fun little note to have. And then they will fit on your card either this way, so you can have it, you know, whichever way, or you can flip it around and have it this way. And you will get some little scraps, but very minimal scraps. So I've got one of the little edge scraps that I'm actually going to put on the card as well. I've also got I took a piece of shimmery white cardstock, which is nice to watercolor on. It's a little bit, it'll accept a little bit more water than the regular cardstocks, but not as much as the watercolor paper, so keep that in mind. And I just cut out a whole bunch of those in the 3 1/2 by 4 size too, and I've just got these two pieces just taped to a press board that I happen to have, just to help with the warping, maybe minimize that a little bit. Alright, I've got some enamel dots because I've been wanting to use these, but I haven't had a project yet that has been perfect to use them on. So I've got those, got some dimensionals, It's another piece of shimmery white cardstock. I don't need that right now. All right, we've got Memento ink. We've got some clear embossing powder, our Versamark, our embossing buddy, and then this is a mixture of dazzling diamond glitter and clear embossing powder. So we're gonna use that too, and we're gonna use the Memento with the clear to give a little bit more dimension. There, you're also gonna need your heat tool. Oh, all right, let's start out by getting our watercoloring on. So let's get set up for that. All right, so again, I've got my pieces of paper onto my press board. A wood cutting board would work fantastically too. Oh, right. All right, before you open up your Stampin' pads, you're going to want to give them a bit of a squish. And this is going to give you some ink in the top here. So that's going to be your little palette. And we're going to do that with both of these. Get some good stuff going on. Actually, I'm going to need a little bit more than that. All right, there we go. That's good to start out with. Also, grab some paper towels or, a cloth, a rag, aqua painter or a regular brush, whatever you want. The aqua painters are just really convenient. Now, I'm actually going to take and just spray this with a little bit of water first. Just a light misting, and that's going to help the ink to kind of spread in a more watercolory way. So I'm just going to dip in and go to town. Alright, so I've just got like a nice little ombre wash on one, edge to edge. And then this one I wanted it to be more of like a watercolor sploosh sort of feel. So those are all set. I'm going to set them aside to dry. And then we can get to doing our other stuff. Okay, so I went ahead and speed dried these with my Stampin' Up heat tool. It's wonderful. It's got two settings on it. So the first one is great for drying your projects, and setting number 2, that's what you're going to use to get hot enough to heat emboss with. Melt your embossing powder. So these are both dry. Now it's very important that these are dry before the next step, because we're going to be doing some heat embossing on it. So I've got those 2 sheets, and you don't have to do 2 of these. I'm doing 2 different backgrounds so that you can kind of see the differences in watercoloring. And then I've got my little piece of Whisper White scrap. So I'm just going to put some embossing buddy over everything. I didn't need to do it over the Whisper White, but you know what? I'm a creature of habit, and I have to. Just have to. All right, now we've got our Versamark. Let's do this Whisper White piece first. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper, and I am going to just coat this with the Versamark pad. Just nice and good. Alright, now I'm going to take the Dazzling Diamond and Clear Embossing Powder mix. You can really customize this to what you want. If you want more glitter to it, add more glitter. I would suggest starting with a 50-50 mix and then going from there. You want to make sure that there is enough embossing powder so it's going to melt and stick to everything. Now look at how gorgeous this is going to be. I mean, just like that, it's gorgeous. Basically, we are making our own glimmer paper. Isn't that fun that you can do this? All right. Now, you are working with glitter, so be prepared that the glitter will end up everywhere because that's just the way that glitter is. Alright, I've got my press board. This is a wonderful tool to use when you are heat embossing because it will kind of protect your work surface. So I'm going to heat up my heat tool, and I'm going to heat it up for a little bit, like 20 to 40 seconds before I bring it to my project. It's just a good idea to get into that habit. Let me see if I can catch the glimmer and the shimmer in this. There we go. We've got a nice little piece of DIY glimmer paper. Isn't that fun? And I love the dazzling diamonds because it does have like little bits of like a pastel sort of holographic action going on. It's so fun, so fun. And I really did get glitter everywhere. All right, let me zoom you out a little bit because it's a little up close, All right, there we go. Now I'm actually going to flip these over because I don't want them to look like, hey, it's sky and grass. But hey, if you have any projects that you need that for, then that would be great. Love that color combination for that whole sky and grass. If you've got some of like the outdoor stamp sets, this would be pretty fun. All right, now I'm going to take that happiest birthday stamp. I've already got the embossing buddy on these little guys, so I'm just going to try to get these centered up and just give each of these a stamp. Oh, I didn't mean to do these in Versamark. Ha! But now maybe I can do a little bit of a shadow action and show you a different technique. That was accidentally on purpose. Hee hee. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Alright, let's try this the way I actually meant to do it. Alright, so we are inking up our memento. We're going to have our clear embossing powder over here ready to go. There we go, stamping down with our memento ink. Alright, and we're going to cover it up with our clear emboss. So it's just going to give it just a nice little raised feel to it. Let's get our heat tool stuck on the hook. There we go, just a nice little shimmer going on to that. All right, let's do our other piece. So cute. All right. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and clean up and then we will get to finishing the card. Okay, so here I have my Big Shot. There's the Big Shot platform, the thin die adapter, one of the base plates. This is one of my more loved ones because it's okay that it's kind of bent up. Alright, so I'm going to try to get as many ice cream cones out of this as I can because it's never a bad idea to have as many ice cream cones as you can. So I'm going to go ahead and run this through a few times. Just add your top plate to it. The magnetic platform is a wonderful tool to have when working with these thinner dies, especially if you are cutting out stamped images. It really helps it to, look at that cute little ice cream. Yeah, back to what I was saying, it really helps to make sure that your dies aren't going to smoosh around too much. So you'll get a nice lined up crisp image. You do have to have a nice and pristine cutting plate for that too. Once they start to warp, it's very hard for the magnet to work if the cutting plate isn't, you know, touching the magnet. It just kind of floats there in midair. All funny. Let me see if I can get one more. Yep, I think I can get one more out of this guy, which means that I can get one more. Actually, I can get more than one more ice cream cone. Alright, now the question, how do you keep your cutting plates from warping? You can't. It's going to happen no matter what. There are ways to prolong it, making sure that you are rotating and flipping your cutting plates regularly is really going to help make sure that you can get the most life out of your cutting plates. So, you know, flip them around, flip them over, much like you would do with your mattress. And yes, you're supposed to do that with your mattress. You can also, if they're starting to get that warp, sometimes I will take and roll them into the center of my Big Shot and kind of leave them that way. It doesn't completely fix the situation, but it does help. Just a little tip for you. On YouTube and stuff like that, I've seen a lot of resources about putting your stuff in your plates in the oven. I don't know that I recommend that. That just doesn't seem safe to me at all. But you know, you've got to live with it, so you do what you think is best. All right, now we've got all of our little fun pieces here. Let's start putting this card together. Now these guys and my lemon lime, it's the same size, which can be fun. You can absolutely do like a little offset with it. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut these down a little bit, just so that they fit on there a little bit better. Alright, so I just cut off 1/8 of an inch around each side, so they end up being 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. And they will just fit on there nicely. So, it's the same as if you were cutting it down 1/4 of an inch. Alright, so let's go ahead and get those pieces on. I'm just going to use my Tombow liquid glue. I've been working out ways to make it a little bit more cost effective to scrap. So there is a series coming up that I'm going to start, and it's going to be a crafting on the cheap sort of series. So ways that you can get, again, the most out of your crafting without having to spend a ton of money and without necessarily having to have everything. You know, kind of like, who here used to watch Good Eats and Alton Brown? Well, it's kind of one of those. Like, things have to have, you know, multi-purpose. They can't just be something that does just one thing in the craft room. So yeah. My mind's totally wandering right now. Alright, yeah, so using the liquid glue is a lot more cost effective than doing the snail. Though the snail does have its good points. Like being fast and easy, and it's dry and you don't have to wait for it. But the liquid glue, you do get, you know, 2 uses out of it. If it's used wet, it's a permanent bond. If it's used dry, it's a repositionable bond. So that's fun. And there's also 2 different ends for you to have some fun with. Alright, anyway, enough of that tangent. Now, I like to go ahead and put something like heavier on my pieces when using liquid glue, just to make sure that they're going to dry flat. And since we did watercolor on this, there was some warping to it. So this is just letting it, you know, get down there and do its thing. Alright, you know what? I think I want to add, do I? I do. I want to add some baker's twine. So we are going to do that real quick. I'm going to grab my tape. Where's my tape? There's my tape. I usually keep it in the same place, but that's not always a guarantee of anything. All right, and I'm just going to kind of wrap it around right there. Baker's twine is another one of those inexpensive items that you can purchase. So do I want to just, yeah, I'm just going to do 2, just like that. And this is the easy way, the cheater method of putting ribbon on, well, twine. Ribbon, I actually found tear and tape works fantastic when you're adhering ribbon down. It's pretty awesome. There we go. Tape stuck to finger. Isn't that always the way? All right, I mean, just that. That's pretty awesome. Loving this combination. It's reminding me a lot of the April paper pumpkin kit. So those are some fun stamps too. So those of you who are not familiar with paper pumpkin, it is a wonderful deal. So here's some of the stamps that are from the April paper pumpkin that you can use and use again. So lots of fun little stamps. You also got some watercolor pencils. You know, good stuff. Paper pumpkin is pretty awesome. All right, now back on to what we were actually doing. I'm going off on a lot of tangents here today. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Some days you got to go where the mind takes you. All right, so the ice cream cone, I'm going to go ahead and adhere with my liquid glue right about here. Make sure it's as straight as I can get it with my eyeball. Go ahead and do both of these. There we go. And now I'm going to take my dimensional. Did you see that we have mini dimensionals in the new catalog too? So they're little ditty daddy babies. Why are things just cuter when they're smaller? Alright, just going to get that ice cream cone going on up there. And there we go. If you wanted to bump this up even more, you could absolutely have done like a circle punch or one of the stitch shape framelits to go around and have that the ice cream popped up onto there. All right, well, we're only going to temporarily adhere those so that you can, actually, you know, I'll go ahead and I'll do another base. So I'm going to go ahead and get this strip glued down here. So it's just going to give it a little bit of an anchor. Let me get another card base going. Alright, so I got both of my card bases going. Now there's a couple options for this. You can go ahead and use your liquid glue, or you can pop it up with some dimensionals. If you're going to be sending it through the mail, I do suggest maybe putting a piece of fun foam on the back, just to make sure it's going to have a better chance of surviving the mail. I'm just going to use my liquid glue. If you were going to hand deliver these, then you could, you know, just go ahead and use a couple dimensionals and you don't have to worry about it being processed through the mail. They do go through the little sorting machines, so, you know, it's just keeping in mind the future of your card. Nearing the end of this glue. Look at that. So cute. So, all right, I am going to call these cards done. No, I lied. I'm not going to call these cards done because I want to stamp on the inside because I'm trying to get better with that, like having a complete card. So let's take and see. I hope you're happiest of birthdays. I hope your day is as sweet as you are. And we'll do the I hope your birthday is sprinkled with everything great. We'll go ahead and use both of those. And let's see, let's do Lemon Lime Twist to do the inside stamping with. Why not, eh? All right, so we got that on one. All right, and now to really have some fun, there's this little sprinkle stamp, and I've got the Tempting Turquoise. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of that going on, just for a little accent of some fun. Right, and then there's these little dotty guys. And I'm just going to kind of, am I? No, I'm just going to leave it like that. Sometimes you just got to know when to call it a day. All right. Get all of this put away. Clean up as you go, and then you won't have as much of a mess to take care of later. All right, so let's bring you a little tighter. So there we go. There's our little sentiments. If you had something to do a nice little border around these, that would be fun. If you wanted to go ahead and cut out some of the like stitch shapes, or using some of the layering circles or ovals or squares, maybe not the squares, that would be a bit big for the squares, but something like that, like this one would be good for the, actually they would both be good with the oval, and then maybe layered with some Tempting Turquoise scallop around it, and then have those adhered on. That would be a great way to elevate the level of your cards. So fun on the inside, fun on the outside. I think that these are just super sweet and precious, and just, you know, I think anyone would love to get these cards. The color scheme is very, you know, could go masculine or feminine. There is some glitter on there, but you know what? It's a birthday. All birthdays need glitter regardless of what gender you are. Oh, all right, that is it for today's project. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Feel free to leave comments. I love hearing what you guys have to say, especially on these process videos where I'm kind of creating it as I go. I know one of my Eastern Palace cards, there's been a little bit of talk on what I should do to finish it, and I agree with all of you guys who said I need to put something else on that card, that little flower medallion-y thingy. So anyway, thank you for leaving comments. They're much appreciated. Head on over to pixiecrafter.com for more ideas and inspirations and links to everything. You can sign up for my monthly newsletter while you're over there. And if you are a resident of the U.S., you can sign up for my birthday club. In your birthday month, I will send you a handmade birthday card from me as a show of appreciation for supporting my small business. Full list of products will be linked in the description bar below. Let's see, what else? You can shop my online store 24/7. Lots of fun goodies going on. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, I do more up-to-date announcements and stuff like that. You get to know like kind of what's going on in real time. And Instagram, I do a lot of behind the scenes stuff. So all right, that is it for today. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.